Hello everyone. This is the presentation of my poster on the history and current status of infant mental health. There will be a link to the Google slide of this poster for you to browse later in more detail. Infant mental health is a very new but growing field of study, so this serves as an introduction to what we used to believe about infants and their mental health, and what we know and are still learning about today. The definition is important to be equipped with. Infant mental health consists of infants' developing capacity to experience, regulate, and express their emotions, as well as form secure relationships and learn. The baby's individual characteristics, the quality of their relationships, and their environment will have an effect on their ability to develop this capacity. There are a variety of biological and psychosocial risk factors, like premature birth, poverty, and parental depression. There are also many protective factors, including secure attachment to one or more caregivers, early intervention, and support of parent health. A few common infant mental health concerns include sensory processing disorders, depressive disorder, anxiety disorders, and sleep or crying disorders. Common features of treatment practices include focusing on caregiver-child relationships, improving caregiver attunement, and treating the physical and mental health of the caregiver. Some historical beliefs about infants included the belief that children weren't viable until a certain point in time after birth or until a certain milestone was reached. Many historical policies and laws disregarded infanticide entirely, or up until the child was a certain age. We have a very different understanding now about infants in general and their mental health. Neurological development in infancy is unlike any other point in the lifespan, making it a fascinating and critical time. Genetics and environmental factors come together to wire an infant's brain, and their mental health is not set in stone. It can be shaped by positive relationships and secure attachments. Infants are not passive receptacles for information. Rather, they are active learners, and adults can help facilitate their exploration and learning. Infants can't self-regulate their emotions, so it's up to adults to help regulate the duration and intensity of their emotions. If infant brains are constantly in survival mode because they don't feel secure, they're not able to learn because the brain prioritizes their need for safety. That's why adults have to build warm relationships and create a safe and calming learning environment. I've included a Mythbusters section with 3 myths and their associated truths. One persistent myth is that infancy and childhood are just stages that humans go through on their way to adulthood that have no impact. But what we know is that the experiences of infancy and early childhood can have substantial, lifelong impacts that shape who we are. A dangerous myth is that infants feel no pain. In reality, infants do feel pain, though it might not manifest in the same way that it would in an adult. This myth persisted through the 1980s, with surgeries like circumcisions done without anesthetic. What we know is that children who underwent surgery without anesthetic as infants showed lasting signs of trauma well into adulthood. The last myth is one I've encountered the most often, which is the idea that infants can't experience mental illness. In fact, infants can experience the full continuum of mental health and illness. They just don't show the same signs as adults. There are important implications to consider as we continue to expand research into this field. Parents and early care providers can have a significant impact on an infant's mental health because they are the primary context in which infants develop their relationships and learn. Supporting the development of these warm relationships that we know are critical can mitigate existing concerns and prevent future issues. We can work towards earlier and more accurate identification of concerns and develop more effective interventions. Finally, as trauma-informed care practices in early childhood care and education become more prevalent, understanding the effects of trauma on infant mental health will be crucial in providing care that doesn't re-traumatize and supports learning. Thank you for listening, and once again, a link will be provided to the Google slide of this poster for you to be able to read in more detail. Please feel free to email me with any questions at maissa@email.meredith.edu. Thank you.